Hey, what's up guys? This is Jimmy, and last week we covered how to make a basic fried rice without any bells and whistles. If you missed that, please click here to see that video. In it, I came up with a spreadsheet where you can still download it now. It's on Google. Just click the link in the description box below. But this week I wanted to experiment with all the optional ingredients that I didn't cover last time. So more specifically, I wanted to give you three variations on the basic fried rice with some special key ingredients that will push it up to the next level. So let's get started right now. First, we have the ketchup fried rice. You want to start with a searing hot pan with some oil and salt. And then we're just gonna add some onions, a little bit more oil, and then you want to keep the pan always a little bit lubricated with oil. I'm adding some garlic and some eggs. So basically just whenever it gets a little too dry, you can see things sticking, you want to add a little bit more oil. So this is basically covered in the first video. This is the same procedure, and here's where it's a little different. I'm going to add some protein. This is some cooked sausage, and I'm going to add it after the egg is already in there. Adding in that leftover rice, you want to make sure it's left over so it crumbles very easily. It's nice and dry, and you can break it apart like this with your spatula. And go ahead and break it up because you don't want it all clumped together. So here I add some frozen veggies and some cabbage that I had lying around. So just incorporate those frozen veggies and that cabbage in there. And then we're ready to season it with a little bit of soy sauce. And always taste to see if you have enough sauce. So if it's not salty enough, add a little bit more soy sauce, but do it in stages so you don't overdo it. Now comes a secret ingredient, which is ketchup. So you wouldn't think this would be good in a fried rice, but it is delicious. It adds a little bit of tang and a little bit of sweetness. Next up, we have the fried noodles with XO sauce. Now we start this off very similar to the other dish. I'm using red onions here, and I add some cooked tofu that I had prepared earlier in the week. So here I'm going to add some leftover rice noodles. You can also do soaked noodles, some green peppers and carrots and cabbage, but whatever you have will work. Now this is the secret ingredient, XO sauce. It's basically an umami bomb and totally optional, but if you want to try it, you can find it at most Asian grocery stores. I made some dumpling sauce earlier in the day and I didn't want to waste it, so I put it in here as well. But it's mostly soy sauce, rice vinegar, maybe some chili oil, some other things I forget, but you can use soy sauce in here instead. Lastly, we're going to make a kimchi fried rice with chicken. So we have some raw chicken here that I salted, and I'm going to put it in the pan first because you want to put the raw things in early so it has a little chance to cook, but you don't want to cook it all the way. So I cook it about 70% of the way before I add the onions, and here I use green onions. You also don't want to cook it all the way 100% because then it gets a little tough and overdone once the dish is complete. Now we add the eggs, and I like to push, you see me pushing most of the ingredients off to the side with the spatula like that to the edge of the wok, and that's a really good way of keeping it from continuing to cook. It's still warm, but it's not in where the hot spot is in the middle. I'm adding some fresh veggies here, some broccoli and carrots, and just mix it around. Add the soy sauce now. Now here's the secret ingredient, which is kimchi. It's a Korean fermented cabbage, and you want to add a little bit of the juice as well, because that'll add the funkiness. And here I'm adding a little bit of vinegar, which I used Chinese black vinegar, but you can also use rice wine vinegar. Okay, before we get started tasting everything, let's put some finishing touches on there. Putting some sesame seeds, some sesame oil, some scallions, and chili oil, but you can also add peanuts here or cilantro, any finishing touches you can think of here. So there we have it. The 3 dishes are finished. We have the ketchup fried rice, we have the fried noodles with XO sauce, and we have the kimchi fried rice with chicken. And I can't wait to try this. First up is the ketchup fried rice. It's got just the right amount of sweetness and a little bit of acidity. It's really good. Next we have the fried rice noodles. The XO sauce really adds something to it. And last we have the kimchi fried rice with chicken and broccoli. It's funky. Definitely has that kimchi taste. Just a little bit of that kimchi funkiness. Really good. So that's 3 fried rice dishes. I hope it gives you a general idea of how to make something like this from your leftovers. As always, if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.